Hey y'all, it is Andrea here at VW Family Farm. We have got a lot going on. I'm going to take you around and show you what all we got going on the farm. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and now's the perfect time because there is a lot happening. You want to say hi?
Hi. I'm removing this old hot wire that we had on here. It's getting worn out, and I'm going to put on some new turbo wire, try to go all the way around it. Keep something from getting the chicks.
So we are raising one batch of meat birds this year. We've actually got two different ages in here, actually three. But two of those are American breasts that we hatched ourselves, and then we've also got a batch of Cornish in here, and we just moved them out here yesterday. We have had a hot wire around this. This is an old greenhouse that we put up and transitioned, finagled, whatever you want to say, into a chicken schooner, a huge chicken tractor basically. And so it's got like that's actually like a silage tarp over the top to keep them, you know, the sun off them and all the things. It works really well, but we have had a hot wire all the way around it because this is out in a pasture. Let me show you how far we are from the house. So there's wild animals back here. Things, they're pretty far from the house. Things that could come up and see a free meal. So we're getting this set up. We've not had problems up to this point, but don't want to keep chancing it. Gonna get this set up, hooked up. And the electric fence has always worked well for us in the past to keep varmints, anything from even trying to get in there. So those will be processed mid-July. And then I plan to be done with meat birds. I'm just growing enough to put some in our market, but I learned a few years ago, raising meat chickens is not what I want my full-time gig to be. It's just not one of the most enjoyable jobs on the farm or on the homestead. So yeah, raising this one batch. There's 250 Cornish cross, and then there's 100 American breasts in there. So I think it'll be kind of interesting too to compare the two, because by the time the Cornish cross are ready, the American breasts are going to be like double their age, which is going to work out about perfectly for processing. So they'll be about 7 weeks and about 14 to 16 weeks on the breast. So I'll keep you posted on that. Next stop, we are at our pig pen over in the woods. I don't know if you can see them starting to get up. There's 5 feeder pigs. They've been with their mom way too long, but life happened. We've had a wedding. We're trying to get through spring chores, all the things, and so they stayed with their mom too long. We actually sold 2 of them last week to someone who wants to start raising old spots. There's 5 left, so those 5 feeders are in there. They're already probably 4 months old, so they're half raised because we raised them till 8 months. Loaded out the batch that you've seen on the last few videos. There was 14 of them. They were old spot Berkshire crosses. They went to the processor yesterday, actually. So cleared this pen out, and then we were waiting to put these in here. We didn't want to put these young ones in with the older ones. Sometimes that just doesn't work out too well. I don't know if you can see over there, there's a big boar over there. That is an old spot boar. He's a few years old. We have decided, we're pretty positive he is sterile. We have another one. We have 2 of them. We got them at the same time. The other one is not, but this one is looking like it is. So we posted on a Facebook group looking for someone that would like him for free. He would make probably great sausage, links, ground pork, all kinds of things. I mean, you could even try him, you know, cutting him in pork chops and all the things, but I know he would make good ground products. He doesn't smell of taint at all, and I don't know if that's, you know, partly he doesn't smell at all like a boar, and I don't know if that's partly because of related to him being sterile or just what all the deal is with him. But when we posted, we got a lot of comments like, get him tested, make him into sausage, all the things. We're not looking to do that. We have plenty of sausage and all those things. We have a backup boar. So really we'd like to find someone who would just want him and who could, you know, make use of the meat or whatever they choose to do with him. He's friendly. So just, if any of y'all are interested, let us know. Probably, it's fine to leave a comment, but probably best to email us, vwff@yahoo.com, if you're interested, and we can work out when you could come get him. That's why he's in here, because this is super easy pen. We have actually a whole loadout pen over there. Super easy and stress-free to load them. So that's why we put them in here, to be finished out because it's just a lot less stressful when we go to load them up. All right, let's head to the cows, and I got some more things to show you. So I don't know if you can see, there's weeds in here. There's a lot of grass, but there's weeds too. The cows have actually rotated through this once already this spring. So we really would like to come through here with the bush hog and knock down these things they didn't eat, which are weeds. But we just have too much on our plate to bush hog right now. We have hay to be done. It's much more pressing than bush hogging. So that's just gonna have to wait for the moment. So this is actually some hay that is actually in our pasture that is made into paddocks that we rotate the cows through. The last couple years we kind of flip-flopped everything, and we put the cows where normally we cut hay, and we cut hay where we normally had cows. But we wanted to do that on purpose for nutrients, for the land, and all kinds of things. But we're back to normal this year. So this is where the cows normally rotate. We're behind the house. I think it's about 100 acres or so. And we just have more grass than we have cows right now, which is a great problem to have. So what we did was we took one section of the land and cut it and baled it for hay. So that's just more, you know, food security for the cows in the winter. It's just a good thing to have extra hay. So we did that. We caught a little window and was able to get that baled. Lane was able to come help us last week. We have more hay cut right now. Neighbors all around us are cutting hay. It is crazy, y'all. It is so wet here. It was the wettest, I think, May, they said, on record. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I had heard, and I would not doubt it. We had roads flood that I've never seen flood. Ben's grandma had never seen flood. Just we had lots of crazy flooding this spring. Lots and lots and lots and lots of rain. The majority of the days it did rain in May. It was so crazy. So we should have had all of our hay cut and baled and put up by now, and we should have, you know, put out fertilizer and all the things by this point. And we've just done about that much of the hay that we need to do. But we're plugging along. Ben and I just were eating lunch together a while ago and talking about we're just kind of tired, just to be honest with you. And I say, you know, I don't know that we're actually physically tired. It's just sometimes when you have more to do than you feel like you can do, and when something like the weather has been against you, there's really not much you can do about it. And you just kind of, if you stop and think about it, you just kind of feel like in your mind that things just keep piling up. And you're not really tired from the job you're doing right now. You're tired thinking about all the jobs to come. You're tired thinking about, okay, I'm about to accomplish this, but I've got, you know, 15 more things waiting on me when I get this done. So we're trying to plug through that. If you can take control of your mind, that is one of the most powerful things you can do. Because if you can just focus on what you're doing and what you can do and what you can control, which the weather is not one of those, and you can just plug along, you'll look up and you will have accomplished a lot. So that's where we're trying to keep our headspace right now, because there's still places in our hay fields that when you drive, you're splashing water. Well, you can't cut that. You can't cut hay to lay down in, you know, wet, swampy ground. So it's just what it is. We're doing what we can. After this week, Ben actually took a week off of work. We should be in a much better shape because we've accomplished lots of little jobs. You saw in the last video, we harvested honey. The garden's coming on. We've done some hay. We'll have some more done by the end of the week. Just lots of little jobs all along the way. So that's where we're at. I don't know if that's where you're at this spring, but if so, just focus on one thing at a time. And if your mind starts to just run away with itself, like you're just getting overwhelmed, rein it back in. Just tell yourself, you know, I can only do what I can do, and it's going to get done. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. All right, let's go. I tried to bring you back here and show you the cows, but they're nowhere to be seen. They're up in the woods because it's the middle of the day and it's very hot here, so I don't blame them. They're up in the shade where it's cooler. We brought the bulls back here a couple days ago, so we put the bulls in. So that means sometime in March, I have it written down at home, we will start calving again next spring. That's one tidbit. If you put, you know, your male animals in with your females, you should always write it down. You should always look at a gestational chart for whatever type of animal it is, and go ahead and write that down, because you think you'll remember. I thought I would remember so many times, and then I don't, because I have so many other things I'm trying to remember. And so always write that down. So March next year we will be calving again. I just spotted some of the cows. I don't know if y'all can see them up there on the hill. They're just grazing around. Another thing that we go off of when we come check cows, and if you're new to cows or just, you know, weren't raised around them, I wasn't, but Ben was, and I've just learned a lot from him and from living out here. If you go check your cows and they're out happily grazing and they don't chase you down, or especially if they're laid up chewing their cud, they're satisfied. They're not hungry. Now, if they start chasing you all over the place, and you can obviously tell their grass is low, it's probably time to move them. If they're acting not satisfied, you probably need to listen to their cues and get them on some fresh ground. We've had all of our calves for this spring except one. We're waiting on one more cow to calve, and she calved at the end of May last year. I went back and looked, so she's not super overdue. If they have one a year, that's good. So she's really still okay, and she was a cow we bought at the sale barn. Really don't know her history. Seems, you know, fairly old, so I think she's gonna calve. She's starting to bag up and get milk in her udder, so once she does, we will have all of our spring calves born, and we will have a break until probably September or so. We lost one, was stillborn, and that was to a first-time heifer, and then two other first-time heifers, their calves both died after about 10 days. They were doing good, looking good, healthy. Then we just came back here and they had died. I think probably what happened, that their moms weren't the best moms. That just happens sometimes. And especially in a herd, you know, the size we have, things are going to happen. You cannot bank on 100% success in your calves. I did at first, and that just leads to heartache and heartbreak. So I've come to more of a realistic outlook. Also, I'm not sure if they had enough milk. Sometimes it's hard to check a beef cow, check their milk supply, because they just don't have as much as a dairy cow. Also, they can get their, you know, teats bit by a bug or whatever the case may be. They can scar over, so it could look like they have milk, but they're really not. Their calf is not getting milk. So any of those number of things could have been what did it, but none of those things are really acceptable when you're trying to decide, do you keep an animal or do you not? So those are being culled. They're going to become grass-fed beef, because those were first-time heifers, so they're still young, and they've been totally grass-fed. So they're going to be grass-fed beef for people. That's just not something that we can keep in our herd, because it could very likely happen again.
So that right there is what they call a cotton wagon. That's what they used to use back in the day. Before they was baling the cotton bales, they would blow it in there. It had sides all the way around it. But we're going to use it as a hay trailer. That's actually what it's been used for the last several years. The guy that I bought it from was using it for a hay trailer, because you can haul a lot of hay on that. That dude's 40 foot long. You can probably get something like 22, 24 bales on there, and it's going to speed our process up a whole lot.
All right, in other news, Mr. Turkey lost his mate. We've had a tom and a hen for several years now, and we just found her like a week ago. She had died. She was out in the pasture. They lived out there together. We are getting a batch of, they're actually the white turkeys that we're raising for Thanksgiving turkeys. Seriously considering keeping one for him, a mate. But I haven't told Ben yet. He's gonna think I'm crazy. So, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. Did you know you can tell a male from a female duck by that little curl on their tail? Run that clip back and look at it. You'll see what I'm saying. They have a little curly cue on their tail, and that's a male. The high tunnel is in full force. Everything's looking great. I've got some of my tomatoes staked. That's on my to-do list also, is get the rest of them staked. But I'm just trying to do them as needed, not just to get out here and just do them to say I'm doing them. Some of them are still pretty small. So look at these dahlias. Oh, they're so gorgeous this year. Look how huge that is. Love it, love it, love it. I've grown more flowers this year than I've ever grown. That's another thing is, if you've been around here, you know our son got married a couple weeks ago. We had a lot of flower production going on, and then there's just a lot to do for a wedding, whether your parents are the bride or the groom. There's stuff on both sides, I'm finding out. Different stuff, but stuff nonetheless. And so, look how pretty these flowers are. Oh, love them. We've got so much growing. And also, if you've been around here, you know our daughter's getting married August 17th. So we're totally switching roles with the daughter as opposed to the son getting married. But getting to do different things. Also growing flowers for her as well. So love these stalks. Those are gorgeous. Gerber daisies. That's calendula. We've got all kinds of flowers growing, and that's just honestly one of the highlights for me. I come out here each week and pick and make a few bouquets for our market. That's fun, getting to learn about all the different flowers. Love these. Look at all this mint, all the things that has grown for fillers. It's just, I don't know, it's just a newfound love that I've found growing flowers. We've got zinnias growing all over the farm. I'll take you and show you a few of those as I wrap this up. Can hear the goose talking to me. The goose needs a mate also. We lost the male goose early on. So we have a female goose, but she needs a mate. Maybe we'll get a turkey and a goose at some point. This, you guys, if you've been around here a while, you know I've grown strawberries in this before. I decided to clean it up and then let some of the stuff that runs and takes up a lot of space grow in there. Woo, getting attacked by a bee. And that's worked out great. It looks gorgeous back there, and it's a perfect space because there's nothing else in there besides a little garlic, so it can just do its thing. These zinnias are just starting. Love them. Look how big some of these are, and I love that they're white. That's gonna be really good for the wedding. So yeah, loving the flowers. I've got another bed of zinnias, well, two of them actually, I'm gonna take and show you. That's something I would say to you guys. Pepper's down here. What are you doing, Pep? That's something I would say if you're wanting to grow some flowers, you're wanting to grow some cut flowers, you don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to try to grow things that really don't want to grow in your area. Like in the South, growing cut flowers is as simple as get you a pack of zinnias and just sprinkle that thing out. You don't even have to really plant them. You can grow zinnias with little to no effort. So, and you can have cut flowers of all, they look different, they're different colors. It can really make a very beautiful bouquet. You can get really big ones. Like that's almost as big as my dahlias. That's as big as the palm of my hand. There's all different colors. There's bright ones, and then you saw those in that other bed are more muted colors. These are a bit smaller in this bed. They need a drink of water, but I love that color, especially as I'm thinking about wedding colors. Some weddings use bright colors, some use muted colors. Emily kind of wants a mixture of everything, so those zinnias are really going to help us fill in the gaps. Just really excited about it. So If you want some cut flowers, plant some zinnias. Go from there. You can plant more next year, and it's not too late. Get some zinnia seeds and throw them out there right now, and you'll have flowers this year. They're fun, they're easy, they're really easy to save seeds on. So I say go for it. Well, I'm wrapping this up. I hope that gives you a little taste of what's going on around here a lot. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope if your list is a mile long like ours, you just keep plugging along, you don't let it get the best of you. Just remember why you started all this in the first place, because you wanted to and because it's a worthy calling and it's a life worth living. And there's lots of benefits. Look at all the things from all the jobs that I have to do, all the things that when I accomplish those, all the good things that come out of that. Hay feeds the cows, which in turn makes good quality beef for not only us, but other people. The gardens, the flowers, everything. Everything has a purpose, even if it's just for enjoyment and beauty. That's as worthy of a cause as anything, like the flowers. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me, and God bless.